Yes, my name is James Clark, and I have an appeal before the Idaho Supreme Court, docket number 4016-2012, and this is in regards to Lynn legislator, a three-time quitter on his client over this way. Hey, Mr. Luker, here I have a letter here, but you say that you did all this work for me and da-da-da-da. Well, I got you in a lie right here too, Mr. Luker. And if you have an attorney, make sure you follow through with all the paperwork. Every stinking piece of paper that your attorney does, you make sure you get a copy of that mailed to you, so you know what he's doing. But this is what my attorney did to me. To whom it may concern. But what he did is he wrote a letter to the Industrial Commission on the 5th of March of 2010, just shortly right after I hired him, unknowing that he had written these. This one here, it says, I am writing in regards to a motion to vacate telephone conference filed by Miss O'Barr. In the above matter, claimant occurs in the request. Bull if I did. Furthermore, the motion was the first notice that claimant's counsel had regarding the reference telephone status conference. That's a lie. At the present time, the parties are still engaged in discovery, and medical evaluation commissioned by the defendants is pending. A telephone conference is not necessary at this point, at least from claimant's perspective, and you know that was a lie. 100% and plus another 100%. If the commission feels that the conference is necessary, wait a minute, let me, if the commission feels that a conference is necessary, claimant's counsel, Mr. Lynn Luker / legislator, three-time quitter on me, we request that it not be set until at least 10 days after the current legislative session under some kind of a rule here. Here, you can see it right there, right above his name. I don't know what all that really means. And then, Mr. Lynn Luker, because, on my several phone calls that I called your ass wanting you to do this and try to figure out, hey, man, did my doctor do his impairment rating based on the 6th edition? Oh, I haven't heard back from the state fund yet. Oh, I haven't heard back from the state fund yet. What about my transportation, man? I haven't, yeah, okay. But then again, Lynn Luker, and then in September 20th, you send a letter, and that's almost about the time that you kind of withdraw as my attorney representing me, I believe. I'll have to look at that document again, but it'll be on a video too. Mr. Luker. And then you send me this letter, which, again, I was unaware of this letter. Dear Jim, but I was unaware on how these two documents would come into play. Yes, again, I wasn't supposed to make it this far to really put all this together. Okay, but you see, you need to understand, this is my life. My life. September 9th, Dear Jim, enclosed are the answers to the integratorial, together with a return envelope. And about those integratorials, Mrs. Rachel O'Barr, the law firm of Anderson, Julian Hall, LLP, out of Boise, Idaho. Isn't it true that you also lied? Because in some of these reports, it's after my attorney took over. Defendant's first integratorial, blah 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 blah. But that's a lie, isn't it? Because didn't I? Weren't we arguing on what is what here for almost 2 years before I hired this piece of junk here? In my opinion. If you have please review the answers to ensure the correctness. Please sign the last page and return it to me in the enclosed envelope. You do not need to send all the answers. If you have changes to any of the answers, please call me and we can do them over the phone. We need to get these answers completed and filed as soon as possible. Well, that's because what you did is you wrote this letter to who it may concern, but we all know you already knew who you were writing it to, and you already knew that you were going to get it. And then you write this one after the legislative session, or what the hell ever you were doing, but you weren't working on my case. Oh, well, you were working on my case, to screw me. Because you are a legislator who is in charge of the judicial vice chair, so you already knew the laws that they had broken and violated on me. Isn't that really true on why you took my case? Isn't that really true when you answered this question that I had put on a web page? And man, I thought, I got an attorney. But you did nothing but screw me. I'm sitting over here broke, buddy. And then in your letter, and then in that June 11th letter that you wrote to them in regards to the settlement offer of the $460-something, and all what I did was I added the 50% on top of that, unconditional, based upon the OSHA. So that put it at the $1.2 million. That's before the Supreme Court. I mean, and then you put in your letter to them about how, and about something about, Mr. Clark had this. Oh, and it has to do with my prison record, when I was incarcerated for a possession charge, the only time I've been incarcerated, for a long period of time, there's a few of us that's been in jail, I mean, come on, man. Look at whoever the legislator was that was reaching his hand underneath the stall, whoever he was. I don't know. I don't follow this stuff, man. It ain't what I needed to know to make a living. Okay, but boy, your state sure is corrupted up over that way. If it ain't one thing, if it ain't reaching underneath the stall, well, it's screwing the injured workers. I'm sitting over here. I mean, come on. You know that I relied on temp services all my life because of my reading ability. Before I learned how to read, self-taught. So again, let's start on you, Lynn Luker. Let's start putting these stuff out. You screwed me, Lynn Luker. You knew you were going to. Right here. What did you do for me? Other than sit on the legislation and do your job and not the job you were hired to do for me. Was it Anderson, Julian Hall who did all this paperwork supposedly for you? Because isn't it true that it's Anderson, Julian Hall who is holding that $4,000 that was paid to you, or supposedly they're holding it, but something's telling me, in my opinion, that they're not holding that $4,000. I think that letter that was written to me is just a gimmick, just like the rest of this shit's a gimmick. And then people are wondering why I'm about ready to lose my freedom. My freedom, man. I mean, I already almost lost my life. Now I'm about ready to lose my freedom because I've got to be heard. And I will be going back to Boise. Because I can't get an attorney that will step up and help an injured worker. Why? If I was to come to you and I didn't have all this mess here, you'd take my case in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, y'all be stumbling over chairs to try to get to me. Guaranteed money, huh? Guaranteed money for you all.